Hi there, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to supercharge your piano playing by incorporating sus chords. What are sus chords, you're asking? Well, we're going to learn all about that. Basically, sus is short for suspended chords. So we're going to add some suspension into our chord progressions. Why don't you join me? By incorporating sus chords into your piano playing, we can supercharge your chord progressions. We are going to follow the same 3 steps that we have been following in creating colorful chords, adding notes for a richer sound, and then our most recent video, Boost Your Chords, Mastering Sevenths Fast. Step 1 is find the note you're looking for in the chord. Number 2 is add the note to the chord in the inversion you desire. And number 3 is play the new chord in the chord progression. All right, so we're going to use the same chord progressions that we did in the last video, Boost Your Chords, Mastering Sevenths Fast. So our first chord progression is A, D, E suspended, A. Let's find our suspended chord first, so we need to find the 4th in the chord. The suspension is always the 4th note of the chord. So in our E, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4th is A. So we'd have 1, 4, 5. We'd play those together and then resolve the 4th to the 3rd. That's how a suspension works. So that was step 1. Now we want to, step 2, add the new note to the chord in the inversion you desire. So let's decide what inversion we want. So we have our A chord, our D chord, and in the last video we did E as a second inversion and then back to A. So if we're in E, our suspension is going to be up here. Here's our 4th. Ooh, that's going to be super cool. Okay, so there's our suspension, resolved, and then back to A. Okay, so there's the new note, step 2. The new note is in the chord in the inversion you desire, and now we're going to play the chord progression. So we're going to do it with right hand by itself first, and then we'll add a little bit of left hand. So here we go. A, D, E sus, to E, A. Ooh, so cool. All right. Let's do the same 2 patterns we did in the previous video for the left hand, which is in the video Unlocking Left Hand Accompaniment Patterns on the Piano. So let's try this out. A, D, E sus to E. There's the E, A. Let's try a different pattern. Sus to E. Ooh, that sounded so good. Way to go. Those sus chords can be so beautiful in a piece of music, in a chord progression. They add so much tension, but it resolves, which makes it very satisfying. Our second chord progression is the same second chord progression from Boost Your Chords, Mastering Sevenths Fast. It's going to be C, A minor, D minor, G. Now, we're going to add a sus to the A minor chord. We're also going to add a 7th to the D minor chord. So we already learned how to create the D minor chord in the previous video. Now we're going to also be incorporating a sus chord. Let's start by finding the A minor chord right here, and then the sus is always the 4th note of the chord. So root, 2, 3, 4. So here's the sus, and then it resolves. Okay, we are also going to be moving to the D7 after that. Now we want to decide on the inversion. So we were doing this inversion. Now the sus is going to be the 4th. So this is a similar place on the piano as the previous chord progression when we had the E sus. Okay, so let's play this through just right hand. C, now A sus to A minor, D7 to G. Now let's add some left hand. let's change inversions for this chord progression. We're going to start with C up here. So here's our C. Our A sus will be in root position. Our D7 will be in second inversion. And then our G will be in root position. Here we go. And then you can resolve to C. As always, you can change inversions if you want to. So I was up here on the C that last time through, and then when I ended on first inversion. So I was on second, I moved to first. That was just a personal preference because I like having the root on top, but you could still keep it in second inversion at the ending if you wanted to. Just a personal preference. Incorporating sus chords is such a great way to supercharge your piano playing. Your chord progressions are sounding so interesting by adding the sus chords, and then we also added in a seventh chord from our previous video. Boost your chords, mastering sevenths fast. So we have 2 for 1 in this video. Make sure to comment. I love to hear from my audience, and reach out with any questions, and I'm happy to answer them. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.